Some officers play good cop. Others play bad cop. One plays clumsy cop. Today, for Obscure October, we look at the misfortunate police officer, Denise Marmalade. Denise is a young rookie police officer who works for the Ryship Island Police Force. While charming in her own unique way, she has a bad habit of dropping the ball on just about everything. She is constantly fighting discouragement and trying to turn that energy into a motivator to give it her all. Despite her shortcomings, Denise's devotion to her job shines through. She's extremely courageous, taking on a full-blown mech with her bare hands. As well, her sense of justice is admirable. She might have some shortcomings due to inexperience, but her heart is in the right place. Her rank is never stated, only that she's a novice officer. But she appears to be in some position of power. We see only her getting reprimanded for failing to arrest Tron. And in later scenes, we see her acting in command of the force that arrives. She even requests for special equipment to be used or bought.
My, what a big robot you have! Wherever did you find it? I had to get special permission from the captain to buy this. I guess that means you'll be in big trouble if you don't capture me, won't you? Tell me about it.
Whatever her rank may be, she's clearly not at the bottom of the chain of command. She much prefers to be out in the field and hates writing reports. And a little bit of trivia here on her. Her name in Japanese is spelled like Danish, making her name a full-on food reference, Danish being a pastry and marmalade being a jam spread. Denise has a fairly simple design, wearing a standard female police officer uniform. In concept art though, the colors changed drastically. Her uniform was purple at one point, then switching to a dark blue with red trim. Denise first appears in the misadventures of Tron Bond. During Tron's attempt at robbing the bank, and accidentally a veterinary clinic, the police step in to ward her off. Many officers arrive on scene and are taken out by the mighty Gustav and Lego-looking minions. Later to the scene, though, comes Denise, who slept in, having to have her mom wake her up. She wastes no time taking to Tron in the police car, but inevitably loses, as she then runs and hides after her car is destroyed. The next time the two meet, Denise is taking charge of a small group of officers, now proclaiming that she has taken some training to help battle Tron. Boy has she, as she no longer hides and will rather get in Tron's face. Once more though, she goes down. In her final showdown, as Tron has fought off the bulk of the police force who are now bringing out the big guns against her, Denise comes in for a final fight with a mech of her own, the Compaches. This final defeat puts her on desk duty at the station, and clearly on some form of high probation, as she is about to be fired. Her job, however, is saved, thanks to Tron stepping in to help her by delivering Glide and Loath on a silver platter for Denise to take credit of capturing. This saves her hide, though at the cost of her having to write a report on how she did it. Denise shows up again in the cell phone game, Rockman DASH 5 Island Adventure, in Chapter 3. She's working with the police department for Ilex Island, where they're actively patrolling the area, keeping Professor Barrel safe while he investigates a disaster waiting to happen to the island. When Megaman and Roll show up, Denise mistakes them for pirates who want to harm Barrel. She labels them as suspicious and dangerous, informing everyone on the island to be on the lookout. After much sneaking around, Megaman and Roll are finally able to get to Barrel, who can then talk to Denise and explain it's all a misunderstanding. While this is yet another one of Denise's many blunders, she does help out later on, as when Megaman is exploring the ruins of the island, he needs a passcode to activate the ancient systems. Denise is able to send out the force to all known locations of the island to look for information to help him out. In the end, the island is saved. Megaman keeps his mouth shut, and Denise gets to keep her job. While she doesn't really look like it, nor does her reputation, Denise does have an impressive skill set. After she trains a bit and comes for a rematch with Tron, she's equipped herself with some martial arts and can judo throw the entire Gustav. That's gotta weigh like a ton. Imagine seeing someone just come out into the street and throw a car over their shoulder, or suplex a train. She can also pilot mechs pretty well, even though a certain magazine stated otherwise, being able to protect her exposed self while applying pressure in battle. She's resourceful in using her surroundings, so despite how incompetent they make her appear, she does actually have some good combat skill. There was a set of 4-panel comics that focused on the characters from the misadventures of Tron Bonne, and of course Denise was part of it. While most of the comics are just the retellings of the game's events, there is one where Tron and the Servobots feel sorry enough for Denise to offer her a spot on the Gesellschaft, with some ulterior motives involved. She's given a tour of the ship, and we learn that Denise is a Star Trek nerd, has no idea how to cook as she washes rice with soap, and goes through a series of mishaps on the ships until she is ultimately fired by Tron. She just can't catch a break. That wraps up this entry for Obscure October, as you now know the basics on the Clumsy Officer. Stay tuned next week as we dig into the lore of a certain witch. Till next time, rock on!